hearers. This is Duodu Henry Appiah-KORANG, your friend, your pastor, your prophet, your life coach. Today, we have a personality with us. He's going to introduce himself to us, and we are going to have a very powerful discussion today. And I believe that by the time we end this discussion, you are going to learn a lot in your personal life. So we have a guest with us. Can we know who you are? Our hearers want to know who you are, right?
Yes,
Yes,
welcome. My name is
welcome.
Hughes McLean, and I am a subject matter expert in workforce development, helping companies to hire people. And I'm also a career coach as well, helping people in their careers to make sure they're achieving the goals that they want to achieve in their careers. And I'm an author as
All right.
well. We do have a website, www.carterhughes.knowledgeinstitute.com. And I also have a few books. The American Workforce Trinity is one that I just put out. And I have another one called I Have the Power to Change Things. So we're just trying to put out tools, once again, that can help people to get to where they want to go to in life.
Right. That's great. That's great. So you are speaking from that is America, right?
Yes, sir. I am from
Yes.
America.
Which side of America?
I am in
I
Virginia.
am in Virginia. Virginia.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
that's great. All right. I think I went to your website. I read some of your blogs, but I never knew you had some books that you've written. I never knew you had some books. I went through your YouTube channel as well, and I think I glanced through some of your short videos and some of
Mhm.
your blogs. So um, as okay, the name again. I think I just couldn't remember your name again. The name again. All right.
My name is Hughes McLean.
McLean. That is from
Hughes
USA,
McLean.
Virginia.
Yes. Yes, sir. From
Okay.
Virginia, USA.
I think the McLean will rather stick better. All right. So McLean, you say you are an author. You are a life coach. And what again? You also do what
A,
again?
a career coach.
A career coach. All right. So
Yes, sir.
as a career coach, what your plans as an incoming young entrepreneur, incoming young man, incoming young lady? What are some of the things I
Mhm.
have to do to know my talent or my purpose? What should I know? How can I discover my talent, my purpose in life to help me in my journey of life?
All right. Well, that's a great question. When you are looking to identify your talents, what we recommend is that you take what's called a multiple intelligence assessment, right? Every human being has 8 different intelligences. Most people just never find out the different rates for their intelligences. So, what we recommend people do is to take assessments to kind of identify some of your characteristics. With the multiple intelligence assessment, which you can find on the website, that'll lay it out for you what your verbal intelligence is, what your bodily kinesthetic intelligence, intrapersonal, interpersonal, naturalistic, logical, mathematical, visual, spatial. There's all these different kinds of intelligence that every person has, but people just don't know about. So, what we try to do is let people know about these assessments that you can take to give you an idea of where you're strong, right? Because we all have inherent gifts that were given to us by our Creator. So, it's time for us to try to identify what those gifts are, right? So, that's step number one. Step number one is to identify your gifts, your natural talents. And like I said, we can do that through the multiple intelligence assessment or through the interest profiler, where you just kind of talk about what your interests are, things that you're naturally interested in. And then from those interests, we can connect them to occupations that may serve you well, right? But once again, step number one is identifying your talents. And we do that through assessments that we have on the website for free. And this is really all about exploring who you are, because you already have tools that could help you to do whatever it is that you want to do in life. It's just about uncovering those tools and then getting on that right path. Yeah, on the assessments, once again, we recommend that people take the assessments. And then in the assessments, they're just going to ask you questions, right? None of the questions are going to be about fornication or violence or any of those kind of negative things. So they're just going to ask you questions, right? And then you answer those questions truthfully. And then from there, we can identify what your natural talents are. There are 8 different intelligences. They are verbal linguistic intelligence, interpersonal intelligence, intrapersonal. If you talk about fighting, that may be high bodily kinesthetic intelligence, right? Some people are naturally good at fighting, and fighting is an entertainment sport. It entertains people. So that could be a talent with your bodily kinesthetic intelligence. If you're talking about anger and sadness, and those are not talents, those are emotions that a person may feel, and they could, kind of misuse their bodily kinesthetic intelligence. All right, but that's a whole nother conversation when we talk about stable emotions. But in terms of your intelligences, once again, there are 8 intelligences. And if you just answer the questions honestly, that could help us identify your 8 intelligences. In terms of negative emotions, right? What we try to say is, in the Bible, when they talk about Satan, the serpent, or whatever you want to call the devil, the way that he gets to people is through their feelings of doubt, right? Their feelings of deceit, their feelings of dissatisfaction, and the feelings of discontentment, right? Those are what we call the devil's feelings: doubt, deceit, discontentment, and dissatisfaction, right? And from there is where the anger and the violence and all these things kind of come from those foundational negative emotions. So when you're having those emotions, we try to get people to acknowledge, that these are not my thoughts. These are the thoughts that the devil is trying to put into your mind. The doubt, the deceit, the dissatisfaction, the discontentment, right? But these are not godly thoughts, right? So we just try to encourage people when you have those situations where you do kind of want to slip over there, because if you look around in life, there's a lot of the devil everywhere, right? So it's tough to kind of avoid it. It's tough to stay away from it. That's why we recommend, hey, read your Bible, make sure you go to church, and make sure you keep yourself in a good mindset, right? The opposite of doubt is belief, having faith. Even when it may not look like you should have faith, you still have to believe in God and really have faith that He's going to bring you out of whatever situation that it is that you're in, right? So we say it all starts with the mind. And once again, those kind of devilish feelings of doubt, deceit, dissatisfaction, and discontentment. We believe that's where all the anger, the violence, all the kind of negative things, they start with those foundational emotions. So we just ask that people have faith, instead of discontentment, have gratitude. Even if we don't have much, we are still alive, right? We still have our minds. We still have the opportunity, all right? There are stories wherever you are of people who started with nothing and built empires, right? People just like you and I. They're not godly beings, they're people. All of us are just people, right? So the way we look at it, anything another person can do, we can find out how to do that as well if we tap into our creativity, which is God's gift to us, right? Our mind. That's what separates us from the animals, from the trees, from everything else. Our minds, right? The circumstance is the circumstance, but our minds, history has shown us that the mind can get you out of any circumstance, can allow you to elevate from any circumstance, right? And there will always be excuses and things that people have, no doubt about that. But once again, we gotta, even when times get difficult, we have to tap into those godly feelings and try to push back on those kind of devilish feelings of doubt, those feelings of deceit, those feelings of dissatisfaction, and those feelings of discontentment, right? We're asking that we have gratitude, because once again, at the very least, we are alive and we have another opportunity, right? And that's really all you could ask for. Make the best of your opportunity, because if you're listening to my voice right now, you have an opportunity, right? And we encourage you to take full advantage of it. It is not impossible, but it starts with your mind, with your belief. Once again, try to push back against those feelings of doubt, feelings of deceit, feelings of dissatisfaction, feelings of discontentment. All right. Having success is not an easy path, it is a difficult path. So we need to embrace that from the beginning. Growing is difficult, right? Becoming better is difficult. It's not an easy thing to do. All right. So we have to embrace that, though, and have faith that our Creator is going to help us to grow. Whatever He puts into our life, it doesn't happen to us, it happens for us. But we have to tap into our creativity to figure out, what is it that I'm supposed to learn from this that's going to help me and help other people as I go forward. Right? And we all have the power of our actions.
All
People can't
right.
really
So
force you
I
to do
think
anything, right? So
right. So I think you said something about the mind. You have to believe in God. I think if you read the book of Jeremiah, what the Bible talks that
I would say believe in
before I
yourself.
knew
You know,
you,
that's the main.
before you were formed in your mother's womb, yeah, I knew. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So believing in yourself, believing in
Yes.
God, and then we have to break some
Yes.
kind of bad cultural mindset. You see, the Bible talks that we must dismantle every voices or any negative voices that challenges
Yes.
the thoughts of God. So there are some people who have some bad ideologies, some bad philosophies, some kind of bad cultural mindset. They are outbringing what they have been hearing since their
Yes.
childhood. It has formed a kind of stronghold in your mind. So as coming out
Amen.
to define your purpose, I believe that our purpose is purposely or is highly joined together with God. If we can find God, if we can know who God is, then truly in God we can define our purpose. So you said a lot about our mind. That's very great. You said about having determination, having faith in God, our mindset, and I really like your great suggestions, and we are really going to work on that. So you were saying something like there are some questions that you'll be asking to help assess our your purpose. So can you give us some of the questions that you asked to help us identify your talent or your purpose or your gift as a human?
Yes. When so once again, these assessments are on the website, right? And you can just go to. Let me pull it up so I can give you a couple examples of the questions. But it's
All
about
right.
60 questions or so in each of the assessments. About 60 questions. All right. And we just ask people, take the time to explore who you are. Right.
Take
That's
the
all we're
time to
asking.
explore who you are. Uh-huh.
Yes, take the time to explore who you are as a person. God has already given you so much power, but a lot of people never take the time to inventory their power, right? I don't understand why people don't. But we once again try to suggest, hey, take maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It is well worth it. You will be amazed by what you find out about yourself, right? So here's a couple examples of the questions. Okay, and this is an algorithm that was put together. The multiple intelligence assessment started with Howard Gardner back in the 1980s. He had this theory of multiple intelligences, right? Because when you talk about intelligence, most people just think about word intelligence, like those are the smart people. But that's not true, right? A mechanic has an intelligence that the word person does not have. And we need the mechanic. We will always need the mechanic, right? And they have intelligence. That's visual spatial intelligence, mathematical logical intelligence, right? The HVAC guy, the electrician, we will always need these people for the rest of our lives. So it's important that folks understand the value that each of us has, not just the words people. Okay, so on the interest profiler, a few examples of the questions would be on a scale of 1 to 5. Tell how much you would like doing these activities. And it would say things like writing books or plays. How much would you like doing that? Playing a musical instrument. How much would you like doing that? Managing a retail store. How much would you like doing that? Repairing household appliances. How much would you like doing that? Right? So they're kind of asking you how much you like these activities. And then from your answers, they can kind of give you a profile of your interest.
I'm get
Right? So that's
so if I'm getting you, you are trying to say that you want to know the if you're able to access the interest of another person, you're able to get to know maybe what drives him, what makes him happy, what is his passion, what is his love, what he feel better doing. That is a hint to discover your purpose in life, right? If I'm
yes,
getting
that's
your key
I mean,
concept well.
I I believe each of us is here for all of us, right? Like that's the purpose. We're here to help other people. That's the purpose. How you do it, that's what's specific to you as an individual. But for me personally, I believe we're all here to help each other. Period. But developing your talents, that's what the assessments help you do. Understanding what are your natural talents, right? Most people don't know. If I were to ask a random person, what are your three best qualities and what are your three best abilities? Most people cannot answer that question. And that is not a good sign, right? That means a lot of people are not spending time thinking about who they are and where they're going in life, right? Get an idea, not who people tell you you are, but who you are, right? Not your name, not where you're from. Who are you as a being? Right? Like that's that's the level we want to get people to where they're comfortable thinking about themselves, thinking about their future. We're all here to help each other, right? So the better you get, the more you can help other people.
I think
Right? That,
we
that's kind
can
of what
we
we
can integrate where like talking about our personality, our temperament can also feature into this thing because there are some people who are naturally, let's say the sanguines, they are naturally optimistic, they are naturally sociable. So if we can integrate their temperaments, their personality, is this person an introvert or an extrovert? Is this person outgoing or is this person just an inward person? So maybe if we can know all their personality, know what really help. For example, we can even melancholic. Most of them are very introverts, so they like to be in an enclosed area where they can work on their own. So if we can know their temperament, I think that place can really help. Whether they are very outgoing people, interact with people, they can connect with others. So placing our personality, our temperament, our nature can also help us, I think, also access our purpose in life as well, right?
Yes. Yes, indeed. You are who you are for a reason. You were made very specific, right? And when you read the Bible, God is very accurate. Right? He's very accurate with everything in there. The measurements of the tables and the tabernacle, all these things, very accurate, right? So the same can be said of us. We were made very specifically. There is something that you can do better than anyone else in the world, probably. You just have to tap into your mind and find out what that is.
You
And
tap
yes, your
it.
natural temperament can help you, yes, but we also have to keep in mind that we have to grow as well. You may have to develop skills that do not feel easy to you naturally, right? In the interest of other people, if you have a good message and you're an introvert, you still need to share that message. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be tough for you to kind of work out of that. But if your message needs to be shared, that is a skill that you will have to develop. And we can't run away from the growth. We can't run away from uncomfortable things, right? Discomfort is the only place that growth happens. All right. So if you're not uncomfortable, then there's a good chance you're not growing. So we want folks to embrace the discomfort, embrace the growth, right? We're humans. We're here to create. We're not here to sit around and do nothing. We are here to create things. That's what the mind is for. right? So you may have, once again, natural temperament, yes, but we all have to be willing to grow in order to be, the ruler of our assignment, right? Yield to God, be ruler over your assignment, and then use that assignment to help everybody else. That's the plan.
All right. Dr. McLean. Um, there are some people who have been able to identify their purpose, and they believe that this is what I'm called to do. This is what I believe that God have called me to do. And if you look at their life, there are some challenges in their life. They are able to discover their talent, their gifts. I think I should ask this question first before I ask this question. So, how do you differentiate the bit? Is there a difference between a purpose, a talent, a gift, and a destiny? Because they are very similar. Somebody can say, "This is my destiny," so whatever happened, that is my destiny, so it can't change. Somebody can say, "This is my talent, this is my." So, how can you differentiate between a purpose, a talent, a gift for us, destiny, short form for us to get it?
I would say it's up to the individual, right? Because what you feel like your purpose is going to change. What you feel like your destiny is going to change. And the reason they're going to change is because you are going to change. All right. So you want to have a goal in mind. Yes. You want to have a destination in mind. Yes. But those things can change. And that's okay because we change. In terms of challenges, when you have challenges, my suggestion is write them down. Right? This is a great exercise that we find a lot of people do not do. Write that problem down, write it out completely. Put it on a piece of paper, put it on the table, and then stand up and look down at the problem and just walk around it and think, right? Wherever there's a problem, there is a solution. But we have to write it down. And sometimes you find when you write a problem out fully, you'll find the solution as you're writing it. Because a lot of times we don't really take time to think about, is this even a problem? Right? So when we come across those challenges, something that's worked for me, something that's worked for folks that we help out as well, is to write the problem down. Write it out completely in detail, and as much detail as in your mind about it, right? Write the problem out and then stand up and look down on the problem and walk around it and try to figure it out. Right? That
Uh,
would be our
That
suggestion with
right.
challenges.
There are some things that really happen. There are some challenges. Let's come to Africa. I am in Africa. I'm in Ghana here, and in several African countries and several places, people are facing challenges, and because of the challenges, they are forced to submit to that jurisdiction. For example, let's say in a community where all the citizens are farmers, but there is a young guy in that place. That guy is very talented. He can write, maybe he can sing, he can play football, but because of his entire community, he does not have that opportunity to come out boldly to say that this is my purpose, this is my gift, this is my talent, and therefore, because of the community, let's say occupation, he's forced to also become a farmer as well. So, in such case, how do you advise such a person who has been able to discover his purpose, that I am called to be a footballer, I'm called to be a singer, I'm called to be maybe a writer, I'm called to be this, but because of his circumstance, he cannot really come out. So how do you advise or how do you counsel such a person?
Okay, a person in that situation, I would say yes. You have to do what you have to do, but keep your eyes open for those things that you want to do. All right. If you have to be a farmer, okay, be the best farmer out there. All right. Don't get upset about it. Do the best job that you can do at it. If you do that, you could probably find your opportunities for footballing or singing within that, right? Whatever you do a great job at it, and everything else can open up for you. All right. Also, given the fact that it's 2023 with the internet and all this stuff, do your research. Study folks who are in your situation that have made it out. Study them. What did they do? right? Who did they connect with? What organizations did they work with, right? Because there's always going to be success stories. So if you really do want to get out of whatever situation it is you're in, study the folks who've done it before you, right? We've been around, what, 6,000 years now this planet has been around, at least. So study the folks who've done it before you. Continue to believe. And if you're in a bad spot, it's going to come down to your mind. It's going to largely come down to your mind, right? Because in situations, back when we were coming up and everything, you're around a bunch of people who have a negative mindset, who've kind of submitted, like you said, to that ideology. So it's tough. It is very difficult, but it's possible, And I would say, once again, whatever you have to do, that job that you have to do and don't want to do a great job at it. Give it all you got. Right? That's what it comes down to a lot of the time. If you hate your job, do a great job at it. And I guarantee you another job will open up for you. Because if it's all about the mind once again, right? And God doesn't put anything in your life that's not there for a reason. So it may not make sense that I have to farm when I want to sing and I want to play football. It may not make sense to me, but I'm going to trust in God and I'm going to be the best farmer out here. Right? I'm going to learn as much as I can about farming. And I'm still going to keep my eyes open for the singing opportunities, for the football opportunities. Right? But I'm going to be the best. Don't let those things discourage you, things that you may not understand. Right? God is smarter than all of us. So he's going to put us in situations that we don't even understand why we're here. In those situations, we suggest work hard. Right? Be the best at whatever it is that you're doing. And from there, other doors can open up. But if your mind's not engaged and you're doing half effort and all these, it's going to make things a lot more difficult for you. So whatever the lot in life, whatever the situation, give it your best. And then study the folks who have done it and how did they do it. Right? And stay engaged with the trends. I mean, nowadays, people are connected worldwide, so take advantage of that. The world has changed. There's a lot of opportunities out there. So take advantage. Everybody has a phone, right? Use that. Use that to your advantage. Use the internet to your advantage. Right? But it all starts with your mind, though. And it is possible. It is possible. But whatever the spot you're in, do your best. Try to be the best that you can be. And that just means the most effective, the most efficient, and helping the most people. That's it. Right? Try to help as many people as you can, be efficient, be effective. But that's what we would recommend.
Read the success story of people who were in your same shoes.
Yes.
Do your best
Study.
at where you are. The research.
Yes.
That's really give a very great answers. I really love your answers, and you're really giving up powerful. I'm really learning also from you as well. So, Dr. McLean, so how do you build self-esteem as someone who has just come from a self-inferiority complex, and because of the self-inferiority complex, that person cannot come out to be what he is to be? He has identified his or her purpose. He knows what he can do, but he have a very self-poor image. So how do you build a self-esteem to help you accomplish the purpose that God has really designed for you to be?
Okay. In that situation, we would recommend the first thing you do is write down your power statement. Right? We have a power statement on the website, and this is where you write down, these are my 3 best qualities, these are my 3 best abilities, and at the top of it you write, I am the most important person in my life. My improvement helps everyone around me. Right? And then at the bottom of it you write, the difficulties will continue to come, and I will continue to overcome them. All right? So we recommend at the first 20 minutes of your day, write these things down and then look at your paper. It comes down to making a decision about who you are and who you want to be in this world. And then just to make you feel a little better, keep in mind, nobody else really knows any better than I do or you do, right? Because nobody's really been around that long. The oldest person is what, 100 years old or something. So nobody really has all the information of how life works, right? We're all just kind of guessing, to be honest, right? So what we recommend folks do is to every morning summon your power, and your power is inside of you. Just knowing who you are and knowing what you want. If you're willing to write down your goals specifically, there is no way you cannot accomplish it. And you look at it every day in the morning when you get up, right? You give it a year, give it 2 years. There is no way that you can't get to where you want to go. But it's going to require the discipline of every day getting up. I am this, I am, right? I am good at writing down those qualities, writing down those abilities, and also CIA, right? CIA. I am confident, I am intelligent, I am assertive, right? So you want to have this message that you look at every morning programming you, because that's what all the messages that we listen to do anyway. So what we're asking is that we program ourselves so that we can have a more positive outcome at the end of the day. All the information that you listen to, hear, see, all of that stuff is programming you. So what we're asking is that you take control of the program. At the beginning of the morning, I'm going to write my power statement down. I'm going to look at it as soon as I wake up. And that's going to affect how you see everything else throughout that day, right? If you start out with that power statement in the morning, now you're 5 days in, and the things that you saw as obstacles before, now they look like opportunity, right? But it all starts with the mind. Very common.
Meaning that you have to program your mind that you can do it. You have to program your
Yes.
mind that yes, this is what God have given me. Even the Bible says, Paul said that I can do all things.
Let me just make this point. Because when you think about it, you've been programmed to have the inferiority complex. I wanted to make a point that the person has been programmed
All
with the
right,
inferiority complex
go on.
too. The person has been programmed with the inferiority complex, right? That's programming also. That is not a natural thing. You've been programmed to think that way. So you can be programmed to think another way, right? That's all we're saying.
To reprogram your mind, you have to
Yes.
speak to yourself that I can do it. I have the power inside me to do it. But isn't that too egoistic? Isn't this your that you are
Say that.
trying to
Say that
become
again.
too proud of yourself? Isn't that I have power, I can do this, I am that? Some people might think you are too proud or too arrogant when you begin to make such confessions like that. If I'm trying to get your
Too
key
proud
concept
or
here,
too?
that you are saying that
Yeah, no. Yeah, that is a human misconception that is very strange to me. In the Bible, God made Abraham a king, right? He was a king. God doesn't want anybody to be uh, poor and unsure of who they are. That is not life. You should have pride in who you are. You should be confident in who you are. Because the reason most people are insecure is because folks have told them that they're not valuable, you know? So we can't say that, yeah, let's take on the bad programming, but not do the good programming. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. You are as incredible or even more incredible than you think you are. And it is okay to be honest with yourself about who you are, right? Don't let those people fool you into thinking, yeah, having pride is a bad thing. I don't, that's a new one to me, but it's out there, I guess.
so
You know, but
so
we
how
would
do you
always
so
look at
how
it
do you
first.
differentiate between being proud and being having a high self-esteem? How do you differentiate between those two keywords?
Okay. The effect on other people, right? What we're talking about is self-interest, improving yourself in the interest of other people. What you're talking about is selfishness, right? Trying to do things at the expense of other people. That's the difference, right? We're asking you to get better so you can help more people, impact more people, right? It's at the interest of the people. Because once again, the purpose of life is to help people. That's it. If you're not focused on helping people, then life is not going to work out well for you, anyways, right? So the purpose is to help people. If you're confident in the fact that you can help people, don't let folks convince you that that's a bad thing. All right? It is okay to be confident that you can help people and that you are good at what you do and you take pride in your work. That's okay. Right? We're not telling you to put anyone else down. Once again, this is in the interest of other people. If what you're saying is we shouldn't try to improve because it's going to make other people feel bad, then I disagree. I say God already gave you, once again, the wealth is already inside of you. It's just about tapping into it and becoming an extremely helpful person and being willing to learn and willing to try and willing to care and willing to stay until you get it right. Right? It comes down to your willingness. And that's in the interest of the people. Folks may try to call you selfish to make you feel bad, but that is between them and whoever they pray to. As long as you're clear on what it is you're doing and how you're helping your people and you're doing the assignment that God gave you, right? You got to understand the devil's everywhere. The devil's always going to make you what? Doubt yourself. Once again, those devilish thoughts, doubt, deceit, dissatisfaction, discontentment. You have to be on the lookout for those, regardless of who they come from. The devil can be everywhere. All right? So improve yourself in the interest of helping others. Yes.
Improve yourself and it's going to work. All right. So Dr. McLean, so I think you've really said a lot this very hour, and I want to know, what is your favorite book and why do you love that book, so that our hearers or our connectors can also connect. What's your favorite book and why do you love that book?
Favorite book for me is The Strangest Secret in the World by Earl Nightingale. You can go on YouTube and listen to it also. For me, why it's my favorite book is because it changed my life. Changed my life forever. Right? I had lived a certain way, like everybody else, for 36 years, 37 years or so. Right? And then I bumped into this book along my journey, and it changed my life forever. And it really just simplified life for me. Right? Life is only about me identifying my gifts, me using my gifts to help other people, and me constantly improving my gifts. Right?
Because they are different for some kind of inspiration how they write their book, and some principles are not based on the word of God. So I have not read that book. I'll go and search it out. I'll go and find out what that book. But does the book have a biblical foundation? It principles based, aligned with the word of God, with the Holy Bible?
In my opinion, I would say yes,
Hello.
but I would leave that up to you. Yeah. In my opinion, I would say yes, but I would leave that up to you to take your look at it and see.
Goes on because of time. We have to try to end our session today. Maybe another time we can continue with our discussion. So, in summary, what did I ask you that I wanted to add up to the discussion so that our hearers, our connectors can also learn from you today? So, in summary or in all, what do you want to add up or want to say to our hearers?
That you're already incredible. Everything you need is already inside of you. Just explore it, tap into it, use it to help other people, and then enjoy your life. God already made you incredible.
Today, hearers, I had with me with Dr. McLean, and I think he said a lot today. And as time goes on, we are going to have more discussion with him. This is Henry Duodu Appiah-KORANG, the author of over 70 books, and our guests here also have some books. You can check on his blog and also check out his books. Try his website and see what he has written on his blog. I went through some of his blog. I think they are very powerful. blog articles out there. Check on his blog and check on his articles that can help you in your Christian life. I think it is all based on the Bible. As Christians, as believers in Christ Jesus, the Holy Bible is our ultimate book, and whatever we shared or we discussed today has a foundation in the Holy Bible, has a foundation in the Holy Scripture. So I encourage you that as you discover your purpose, that your purpose is in God. If you God says, He said to Jeremiah that before you were formed in your mother's womb, I knew you. So you have to understand that your purpose is hidden in God. And so if you can get to know who God is, repent from sins, and then surrender your life to Jesus Christ, you can discover your purpose. And also try and then visit Dr. McLean website, and then to go through the assessment, and then you answer the questions. It can also help you discover your purpose, and then it all goes around. So we end our session today. We shall continue other time. Once again, we had with me with Dr. McLean, and this is me, the host, Duodu Henry Appiah-KORANG. See you and catch you another time. You are blessed. Bye bye.